Let's see, who's all on this morning? Is everybody ready to do for sale by owners this morning? Yeah, well,
For sale by what?
For sale by who, right? I'm just gonna say, Daryl. Is Daryl on here this morning? No. Daryl.
Let's talk about him.
Yeah, let's talk about him. He's not on here. Daryl interviewed Ryan Kramer yesterday. It was so good, you guys. So Ryan talked about the top things that he does for success. And like his top thing was his schedule. So whenever I talk, and John will attest to this, I always go back to your schedule. Because, you know, if there's one thing that separates productive agents from non-productive agents, it's their schedule, right? Because when you open up your day or your week after week, if you don't have anything in your schedule, I think there's nothing more disappointing than having a blank schedule, right? So if there's one thing, you guys, when that comes out Wednesday on the bulletin, I would just encourage you guys to watch that or listen to it. It's so good.
That interview with Ryan?
Yes. And then
cool.
Say that again, Norm.
That's awesome. I was just going to ask you if that was recorded. So
yeah, they recorded it and they're going to send it out with the bulletin on Wednesday. And then he also talked about tracking numbers and then relating it with your goals. So as we do group coaching, we're doing business planning. So it's so important to have a plan, right? If we don't have a plan, then how do we do a schedule? Because we kind of back into those numbers by knowing where we're going, right? And then, you know, as we go into this market, you know, this role play is so that we develop this skill set as we get in front of people so we can have better conversions. So we know, like, where's our best use of our time, right? And where do we need to work on our skill set? And then also, as we go into these for sale by owner scripts, keep in mind that this is not just for sale by owner. This is like to build value with our, you know, if it's a neighbor, a friend, these are just great questions to build value with just our sellers, right? Or just clients in general. So, all right, so let's just dive right into this. I'm going to go grab the scripts off the printer real quick. Dawn, do you have the script pulled up already?
I can go get it for you.
Yeah, thanks, John.
Yes, I have the script.
Okay, perfect. Do you want to be our agent first?
Sure.
Great. And then Julie here. Julie's here with us, so we're excited about Julie being here. So Julie, you're just going to be our for sale by owner. Okay. And Dawn, you're our agent. So we'll just have you be at the door. And then I'm going to try to put this script up on the screen here. So, all right, go for it when you're ready, Dawn.
Hello, I'm calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner?
It is.
Great. This is Dawn with Remax Associates, and I'm calling to set up an appointment to preview your home and spend a few minutes with you sharing my marketing plan and showing you how I can get your home sold. Which would be better for you, Wednesday at 5 or Thursday at 7?
I'm not really interested in working with agents. That's why I do it for sale by owner.
Okay. But what made you decide to sell your home?
We're just relocating to a different location.
Okay. And what's the most important thing to you about getting your home sold?
Price.
Price, trying to get what you want out of it?
Yes, as much money. Trying to avoid paying commission.
Okay. How soon do you want to get your home sold?
As soon as possible. Well, actually, no, we're not in a hurry. We'll wait if we can get as much money. If we can get more money, we're not in a hurry.
Okay. So if you can get more money, you're not in a hurry.
Yeah. But if the right price comes up, I mean, obviously we would take that.
Okay. And how did you determine your price, Julie?
I just went off of what people's houses in the neighborhood sold, because my neighbor next door sold, and I know what he got, and his house is pretty much the same as mine.
Okay, I understand. If I were able to bring you a buyer at the price you want and the time frame you want, Would you be willing to work with me?
Yeah, you can bring a buyer anytime.
Okay, could I come over Saturday at 7 to preview your home?
Will you be bringing the buyer?
I'll just be previewing it to make sure it will work for my buyer.
Yes, that should be fine.
Okay, great. Well, I've got you. Can I just ask you a few more questions?
I'm kind of in a hurry.
Okay, do you have like just 5 minutes?
Realistically, I'd probably tell you no, but do you want me to keep
Don't
going?
read the packet. Wait, that's raised on there. So instead of asking, assume someone has enough time. Because everyone's so crazy busy that you're trying to get through at least a couple of those questions. So if you ask if someone has a couple of more minutes, they're gonna tell you no. So just say, hey, before I come out, I just have a couple quick more questions, go boom. And just go as fast as you can until they're saying, hey, I gotta go, or I'm at work, or, you know what I mean? Just assume they have time to answer them. Or just simply go, hey, I've got a couple more questions, boom. And you can tell if someone's in a big hurry or not. But if you can tell they're in a big hurry, you're going fast. And pre-qual is only for asking the really important stuff that you've got to know, like about the house. Is there a trust? Is all the parties going to be there? Like, it's stuff that you've got to know to really have a valid appointment, right? So you're boom, if they're acting like they're in a hurry, you're just going through those questions that you've got to know to really have that valid appointment. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I think certain type of people will get annoyed.
Oh,
And then
for
you
sure.
won't even be able to talk to them anymore.
Yeah, especially if you're going slow. Now, if you're asking pertinent questions like, hey, is the house in a trust? Hey, is all the decision makers, people on title going to be at the appointment? Right? If you're asking pertinent questions, they're not going to be annoyed. And if you're going quickly, especially if you've got a driver on the phone and they're ready to get off, you've got to go quickly, right? And you're just gathering information on a pre-qual. You're not trying to confront them on things. You're just trying to see if you've got a valid appointment. Even if they say something like that you want to really confront, you just keep going. You're gathering, and then you're getting off the phone going, do I really want this appointment? His mom's an agent. They want $500,000 too much for the house. You know what I mean? You're gathering and going,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna just.
Don likes that kind.
What, Norm?
Don likes that kind.
Yeah.
Then what about when you get like an old lady on the phone that just wants to talk to you like for a really long time? Is it good to do that as well, or you just end it?
You
once
find
you've got the
you
information?
find a way to end it, especially if you're an amiable personality as well. You kind of have to have a certain phrase that you use. You know what, ma'am, it has been so nice to talk with you and learn a little bit more about you. And I'm so excited to meet with you. I'll see you Thursday at 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? And just end it. So you got to have those phrases that get you, and recognizing yourself that you are an amiable. Most of the time, if you're not an amiable, or an expressive, you don't have as hard a time ending the conversation. So you just have to recognize that about your personality and learn that you've got that phrase. So, John, are you ready?
Am I gonna be the agent?
Yep. And good job, John.
Who's gonna be the?
Don, do you want to be his first time owner?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, go for it. Or do you want to come up here, John, so he can hear you? Now, how are we getting your phone number? We'll talk about that in just a second.
Katie, you need to adjust your camera. We see more of the ceiling than on the top of your head.
On my hand.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm ready. Ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, I'm calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner?
Yeah, it is.
Hi, this is John Hyatt with Remax Associates, and I'm calling to set up an appointment to preview your home and spend a few minutes with you sharing my marketing plan and showing you how I can get your home sold. Are you available tomorrow at 4 or today at 6?
Neither really.
Neither? Okay, is there a time available that I could come over and preview your home and show you what I can do to get it sold? How about maybe later on Wednesday?
And what makes you any different than the other 50 agents that have already called me this morning?
What makes me different than the other agents that have called me? I've called you? You know what? I'm glad you brought that up. You know what? And I can go over that with you when we meet. How about today at 6:30?
Today at 6:30 will be fine if you're only here for about 20 minutes.
Okay, yeah, I promise you I'll only be there. What I should have to share with you should only be about 20 minutes, so that should be perfect. So before I come out, there's some real important questions that I need to ask you, and then I'd pre-qualify you.
Yeah, you're welcome to come, but we're not listing with anyone.
You know what? That's great. I just want to come out and share what I can do, but let me ask you this. If when I come out and I share with you what I can do to get your home sold, if it makes sense, you know, and you feel comfortable and confident that I can get you sold and we can achieve the goals that you have of getting your home sold, would you consider listing your home with me?
Well, I do have a neighbor that's an agent, so if I do decide to list it, I'd probably go with him.
Okay, yeah, I understand that. You know, almost everybody that we that I call has a friend or a neighbor or something like that that they know that's a real estate agent. But you know, all I ask is if I come out, you know, and I spend some time with you, and you're like, man, yeah, I really think John can get my home sold. You know, the money, the numbers are going to work. Then I'm going to go ahead and ask you to list your home with me, okay?
Yeah, you can ask all you want. So, yeah, we'll see you today at 6:30.
Okay, thanks.
No, it's great. There's a lot of good points there.
I
So do
would
you
probably
think-
not overcome that objection until I'm there in front of them.
No, but I mean, I think it's a good thing that you went into the pre-qual because there's a reason there's that first question in the pre-qual. Because a lot of times sellers will set the appointment with you right off the bat like that. And I think the reason, well, I know the reason why we want to do the pre-qual a lot of times because we do set the appointment quickly is to get that rapport, that value with that client so that the appointment sticks. Because a lot of times if we set the appointment really quickly, you know, the spouse gets home and you really haven't gained any rapport with them. And so it's real easy for them to cancel.
And isn't it better to get them talking? So that's why I have the
Absolutely.
question. So the more they talk and the less you talk, the more rapport they'll build.
Absolutely.
Just like when you go and meet somebody the first time, if you let them do all of the talking, they leave and they're like, oh, I really liked that person.
Absolutely.
If you talk the whole time, you're like, oh, I really like that person. You're like, sit there and listen to me the whole time.
Yeah, it's exactly the case. So if, you know, the more questions that you can ask, and again, you've got to gauge their personality. If they're a driver, you still got to talk quickly. They may have just decided quickly to meet with you, and you've still got to talk quickly through those pre-qual questions. So you've got to gauge, you know, who your audience is. But there were so many, I love that you asked that question on that pre-qual because it did, you know, show that, you know, hey, it's, you know, it's a benefit to you and your family to meet with a second option. You know, all I ask is that you know, I would have maybe, or another thing that maybe could have been said is, I think there's a reason why you're asking me to come over. You know, most people, just like you said, most people know someone in the real estate business. And so I think there's a reason why you're asking me over. And all I ask is that you keep an open mind and you go with the person that you feel will get you the most money in your pocket. I'll see you tonight at 6 and leave it on that note, right? So.
I
Perfect.
should have asked some more questions even after.
But
You
you would
set
have,
it up on
you would have gone through all those pre-qual questions though,
Right.
right?
Right.
You just went to the first one, which was perfect because that kind of showed that, hey, all I'm asking is that if you feel comfortable and everything makes sense, that you will put your home on the market with me when I come over, right? And then they'll say, hey, I'm just asking you to come over and show me what you have. I have a friend, you know, I'm not asking for anything more than that. See, because you asked that question, they just brought out like their biggest objection. They might have more, but because you did the pre-qual and asked more questions, they just gave you one of their biggest objections of having a friend in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
Now you know how you need to prepare your presentation to kind of overcome that objection, right? So by asking these questions are designed, especially that first question, if they don't have anything, they're just gonna say something like, oh, I thought you were just coming over to share information, right? And if they have nothing else, you guys, if they're highly motivated, you could take that listing that night. They don't have anything else, right?
Right.
So that question is going to bring out all those objections. That's why I love that first question. So, all right. Julie, do you want to give it a roll? Sure. And everybody, let's see, we've got Wayne on. I just don't want to lose you guys you other agents that are on here. Let's see, who else is on here? Wayne, Stockton, Kyle, Garrett. Okay, Kyle, do you want to be our seller?
Sure.
Okay, Julie.
Ring, ring, ring.
Okay. Can you hear her, Kyle?
I think I think so. I think I heard something.
Okay, ring, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, I'm calling about the home for sale. Is this the homeowner?
It is.
Great, this is Julie with Remax, and I'm calling to set up an appointment to preview your home and spend a few minutes with you sharing my market plan and showing you how I can get it sold. Which time would work better for you, tonight at 6 or tomorrow at 5?
I just put this thing on. So I'm not really interested in talking to real estate agents at this time.
Okay, no problem. Can you help me understand what made you decide to sell your home?
We are we're moving up to Salt Lake.
Awesome, that sounds great. And what's the most important thing about getting your home sold?
I need to net the most amount of money. That's why I got to put a down payment on a house up there.
Sure, that makes sense. And let me ask you this, how soon are you wanting to get your home sold?
It's not a big deal. I mean, it's starting to cool off right now, so I'm not really looking forward to it. You know, it's something that if it happens, it happens.
Okay. What are some reasons why you decided to put your home up for sale by owner?
Because I can do it. I've done it in the past, and I can do it. I need to, like I said, I don't want to pay you guys 6% to sell my house.
Sure. How long ago did you sell it by yourself?
Oh, it's been about 4 years ago.
Okay. Tell me a little bit more about your house.
Well, everything's on Zillow, but it's basically a 4-bedroom, 3-bath home, 1/4 acre. It's really nice, great neighborhood. You know, it's just a little bit too small. We're about 2,100 square feet, and I just need to get something a little bit bigger, and also to just moving up north, just trying to find something a little bit better. But I mean, it's a fantastic house. I mean, I did a ton of work on it. I probably put $150,000 into it.
Wow, that sounds like you've really spent some time and money. That's great. What has been some of your best marketing tools for sell by owner, since you said you've done it before, and I know you just had listed the house, but what worked for you in the past?
Oh, just putting a sign up and put it on Zillow, put it on the websites, and put it on Facebook Marketplace. That seems to have done pretty good. I've had a couple people come by.
Good. And have you got any feedback from those showings?
Well, we're talking to one right now. They're supposed to bring me an offer, but we haven't seen anything yet.
Okay, good. You know what's exciting? All these things that you have mentioned are things that I also do to help get your home sold. I'd love to meet with you to kind of discuss my strategy as a backup plan for, if things don't work out for you, you decide to list your home. Would you be willing to meet with me?
Sure. Yeah.
Perfect. How about, do evenings or afternoons work better for you?
Evenings for sure.
Okay, how about, tomorrow at 6?
Tomorrow 6 is great.
Okay, perfect. I will plan on, oh, wait, what's that? Before I come out, I just have a couple of other questions for you.
Sure.
Perfect. So good. Awesome.
And then when you say pre-qual, what are we supposed to ask there?
There's another free call. And
Sheet,
this,
okay,
and there's just questions like, tell me more about your house.
which I kind of did here.
Yeah,
but
and then if you know the questions, then you know like which ones you've already asked, which ones you haven't asked.
Okay,
And then you don't forget to ask anything. You know what I mean? Like if you didn't ask why they're moving, which you did.
okay,
So it's just things that maybe you didn't touch on.
okay.
A lot of times, like we talked about, like you'll ask for the appointment, you'll get it right off the bat. And you don't
Mhm.
even know anything
About
about anything.
Yeah.
Right? It's just about like slowing down and being like, okay, what do I need to know?
Mhm,
Like have like some kind of an appointment with these guys and know anything.
mhm.
I've had people get off the phone, set an appointment, they don't even know like the
Yeah,
address.
man.
They, Kyle, do you want to be next?
Sure.
And then Wayne, are you participating? Is Wayne still on? Did we lose Wayne? I think Wayne just dropped off. Garrett, do you want to be the seller?
Oh, I just got back.
Yeah, I could do it.
Is that Garrett?
Yeah,
All right, will you be his first Subway owner?
yeah, I can do it.
Okay, great. Okay, go for it, Kyle.
Okay, mine's a little different though, but
Oh, whatever you have.
okay. Ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, is this the owner of the house for sale?
Yeah, it is.
How you doing? Hey, is that house still available?
It is still available.
It is still available. Fantastic. Hey, are you, my name is Kyle. I'm from Remax. And are you paying buyer's agents a commission if we bring you a buyer?
Yeah, we're willing to pay 1.5%.
1.5%. Fantastic. Fantastic. Hey, you know, you probably will sell this house on your own. And I was just really wondering is how long would it take if you don't, in the unlikely event you don't sell your home, how long is it going to take until you decide to interview an agent?
I don't know, probably a couple months. We're planning on
Couple
selling it on our own pretty quick.
Yeah, and like I said, you know, you probably will. You know, this market has changed a little bit, so I was just kind of curious on how long it would take you. So a couple months, fantastic. You know, if you sold this home, where were you going next?
We were just moving out to Davis County.
Out to Davis County. Okay, fantastic. How soon do you have to be there?
I mean, we don't really have any specific timeline. Obviously, we want to get there, but whenever it sells really.
Okay, so when it sells. Okay, so how would you rate your motivation?
I would put it pretty high. I would probably put it 7 or 8.
7, 8. Okay,
Yep.
fantastic, fantastic. What methods are you using for marketing your home?
We got a sign out. We got it on Zillow. We got it on KSL. I think that's about it.
Okay, so Zillow signs out. Okay, fantastic. That's great. That's great. You know, how did you happen to determine your sales price?
I mean, we looked on Zillow. We got this estimate. We also looked on county records. We looked at a few different options, and also my neighbor's house sold similar to this price.
Okay, similar to your price right there. Your neighbor did. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, perfect. You know, well, are you prepared, you know, in this market to adjust your price down when working with a buyer?
Possibly within reason, obviously.
Okay, within reason. Terrific, terrific. Why did you decide to sell it yourself rather than list with a real estate agent?
Save the most amount of money. We don't want to pay an outrageous commission.
No, yeah, the commission is really important to you. Money is important, right?
Yep.
Fantastic. You know, if you were to list, which agent would you list with?
We don't really have any in mind.
No, well, that's fantastic. Fantastic. You know, if you were to list, what would you expect the agent to do to get your home sold?
I market it well enough that it will sell, but we're just selling it on our own right now.
Right. No, I understand. I understand. And you're looking about a month and a half, right? Before
Yeah,
you,
something like that.
okay, fantastic. Now, if you, may I go ahead and set an appointment to come by and take a look at your house, and so I can show my buyers and put it into my pool?
Yeah, sure. Feel free.
Okay, well, fantastic. Well, are you familiar with the techniques that I use to sell homes?
I'm not.
Okay, well, fantastic. Well, what's the best time to show you? I have Monday at 4 or Tuesday at 3 o'clock.
Tuesday at 3 would work.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. You know, before I come out, there's just a few more questions. Do you have a moment?
Yeah.
Great. Okay.
Awesome, Kyle.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is the percentage of like actually getting any of these questions in? Like, I've never cold called a day around myself, so like, as
Where
far as what you should expect for rejection and like.
you're looking for motivation, right, Kyle?
Right.
That's, I mean, this is kind of, Mike Ferry had a couple of different scripts, and this one's been changed a lot, the one that I have up here. Kyle has one that's closer to Mike Ferry's script, which I really like, the one Kyle just did.
Mhm.
Yeah, I would
That's
like
the one
to,
that I
I would like to get that one, actually.
Well, mine's a combination. Mine's a combination. You know, 'cause, you know, you have the one, hi, this is Kyle from Remax. I'm calling for the home for sale. It's the homeowner. You know, then I am doing a survey of all the for sale by owners in the area and then go into it, which
Yeah.
works
I'm-
sometimes. Works sometimes.
I'm
I like
a fan of that one.
I like the one that I'm not making them wrong by trying to sell the house themselves, because I know, you know it. And okay, now a year ago, it wasn't the case, but now it's the case. They're probably not going to sell their home on their own, but they have to try it. You know,
Right.
they're going to have to try it. So I don't make them wrong for it. I just call them up and just say, you know, I'm sure you're going to sell the home, and you know, but in the unlikely event that you don't, how long is it going to take you to? And then I get that timeline, and then I'm just calling every single week, and then just, you know, how's it going? What do you need? And then be there when they're ready to do it. But if I make them wrong, like, why would you be selling it? I mean, that it's just it just turns them off, and you're turning into every other agent in town that just is trying to make them wrong for. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I sold a property by myself before.
Yes.
So it's like,
Two things is you never make them wrong,
right.
owners, yes. And then follow up.
I have a
And
lot of better conversations when I don't make them wrong than when I was making them wrong.
Exactly. No, that's awesome. Right, Garrett, do you want to give it a whirl? Garrett's had some success with some for sale by owners lately.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Stockton, do you want to be his for sale by owner?
I am driving right now, so.
Okay,
maybe
so no,
it'd
we
be
don't
better
want you to do
someone
that.
else.
do it.
Okay, Norm, hold on one sec. Norm, do you want to participate?
Sure.
Okay, do you want to be his for sale by owner?
Okay.
All right, go for it, Garrett.
Katie, can you scroll up?
Oh,
Can't see
yes,
it.
of course. I am trying to find how do I move you guys?
Can you just scroll your thing down? No?
I shouldn't have scrolled it up.
I can also pull it up if we need to.
Hold on.
You have that problem.
How come I can't move you guys? Hold on, let me see here.
There you go.
Is it, oh, there we go. Okay. And I'll just move you back. There we go. All right, go for it, Garrett.
Okay. Hello, I'm calling about the home for sale. Is this the owner?
Yes, it is.
Great. This is Garrett with Remax, and I'm calling to set up an appointment to preview your home and spend a few minutes with you, sharing my marketing plan and showing you how I can get your home sold. Which would be better for you, Tuesday at 4 or Monday at 4?
I don't think I'm interested. I want to try to just get it sold myself.
Okay, no problem. And help me understand, what made you decide to sell your home?
We're just planning on downsizing.
Okay, cool. And share with me, what is most important to you about getting your home sold?
Oh, just getting the best bottom line that we can out of it.
Okay, and Norm, where will you be moving next?
In with my mom. Probably just in the same area, just a smaller house.
Okay, you guys are just downsizing.
Yeah, smaller yard.
That makes sense. And let me ask you this: how soon do you want your home to be sold?
I'm not in a real big hurry. We haven't actually found another one yet, so.
Okay, and how long have you had this home on the market?
Just the last couple of days.
Okay, and obviously you're deciding to sell to downsize, right?
Correct.
And what specifically would have to happen before you would consider listing your home with an agent?
Not have any any offers come in or any action on the property, I guess.
Okay, and is there a certain time frame before you would wait before you will consider?
Off the top of my head, since we just put it on, haven't really thought about that, but a month and a half.
Okay, cool. And tell me a little bit more about your home.
That's 3-bedroom, 4-bath, Rambler,
Okay, awesome.
2-car garage,
Awesome. And how long have you owned this home?
15 years.
That's great. And tell me, how did you determine your sales price?
Well, I just been looking online and some of the neighbors around in the area.
Okay, and how firm are you on your price? Is it negotiable?
A little bit, not a whole lot. I just I think we got good value here. It's a good home. I don't want to give it away.
Okay, that makes sense. And what has been your best marketing tool so far as a for sale by owner?
Facebook and Zillow.
Okay, cool. Have you gotten a lot of attention on it?
It looks like there have been a lot of views.
Okay. Have you had anybody come and stop by yet to check it out?
Not yet.
Okay. And when would be a good time for me to come preview it? We can get together a little bit. I can share with you what I do to sell homes. And also I can just take a look at it. Would you be able to meet at Monday or Tuesday at 4?
What do you want to preview it for? You got
Well, I
somebody
do have
interested in this area?
possibly. It is always nice to know what inventory is available on the market, just in case I do come by a buyer. But also so I can share with you what I do to get homes sold, so that if you do get to the point where you would like to list it, you at least know a great agent and know how I would get homes sold. Do you think you'd be able to meet at Monday at 4?
Yeah, well, it'd be interesting to see what you have to say.
Okay, awesome. Well, I'll see you there.
Thank you.
Katie, in that situation where you're not really getting a listing appointment, like you're just getting a preview, would you still go into the pre-qual questions?
Absolutely, Garrett, because you want to go in and find out, maybe you don't know everything about his motivation. Maybe you build a little bit more rapport with him. I mean, the questions are what really build the rapport. Maybe you find out some more information that he hasn't already given you, because you're kind of just barely starting to kind of like, he's starting to really like you. Like, you got the appointment with him, he wants to hear what you have to say. So maybe you might just get some more information out of him about like what his plans are.
Okay.
So it might just turn into more of an appointment. And anybody trying to sell their home with the motivation is a listing appointment, and you make it such. You go out there. I had an agent one time that went out to an expired, and he didn't want a presentation. He just wanted to know what the price was and what she was going to charge him. And it was like a $2 million home. And I said, how long does it take you to look at a $2 million home? How many questions can you ask while you're walking around that home? That's the presentation. By the time you walk around that home, that seller should have already chosen you as their agent, right? Like there should be no question in their mind that's who they're listing with. That's the presentation, not sitting in front of them holding up things. The presentation is asking a lot of questions, being very curious about what's going on with them, right? That make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Love that.
right, exactly. All right, let's see, how much time do we have? Who wants to take the last turn? Someone want to volunteer?
Did everybody go?
Everybody went. Kyle, can
Scared
we
us.
pick on you?
Say it again?
Kyle, can we pick on you?
Of course.
All right, and John, maybe it's.
Hey, Kyle, do you have that script you used like typed out or written down?
I have, well, I use a combination of the FSBO script and just one is in my head as far as this the opening because it's pretty quick, but I could type it up.
Okay.
And John, can you just take a picture of it with your phone and text it to me?
Say it again?
Can you just text it to me? Just take a picture of it and text it to me?
Yeah. Like I said, I got the beginning kind of is in my head, but I will I'll get it typed up and text it to you.
That would be awesome.
Because it's basically the Mike Ferry. It's just the beginning of it is just a little bit different, and I just kind of go with the flow on it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll get it because yeah, perfect. Ring.
Hello?
Hi, is this the homeowner for the house for sale?
Yeah, is this another real estate agent?
It sure is. I just calling to see is the house still available?
It is. We're not interested in an agent though. Thank you.
Well, hey, I was just wondering how long are you wanting to sell this home for sale by owner until you hire an agent?
I don't know if we're gonna hire an agent. If we do, we'll probably go with Homey. They're only gonna charge us $500.
Oh, homie, for $500, huh? That's kind of that's your game plan, huh?
Well, yeah, I think so. I mean, they'll put it on MLS for $500. I think that's kind of a good deal.
Sure. No, I understand. Absolutely. You know, if in the meantime, while you have it for sale by owner, if I brought you a buyer, would you be willing to pay a commission?
Yeah, I think we're said we'd like give $1,000 to an agent if they brought somebody.
Okay, perfect. Well, how long are you going to decide to use it as for sale by owner?
I don't know. We haven't decided yet. I mean, we've had 3 people look at it on KSL, so that's pretty encouraging, you know. So
Okay. Well,
I think we'll just
fantastic.
wait to see what happens.
Okay. Well, you know, if you sold this home, where are you going next?
We want to go down south, you know, down to St. George where it's a little warmer.
Okay, St. George is a little warmer. Okay. How soon do you need to be there?
We don't have a real set time frame, but I don't know.
Okay. So not. How would you rate your motivation?
We'd like to get the home sold, but we're not going to give it away.
Okay. Not going to give it away. Okay. Perfect. What methods are you using for marketing?
We got KSL. I mean, I think that's the best place to get a home sold, you know.
Okay.
So, yeah, we've got it there. We've got a, sign up, and we're gonna do, an 8-hour open house this Saturday.
Okay. So you're doing a little bit internet sign open house. Is that right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, how did you happen to determine that sales price of $600,000?
Well, we just, we got on Zillow and they gave us a value. Then we just added a little bit because our home's really nice.
Okay, that's really nice. Okay, so you just okay, perfect. Well, are you willing to adjust your price down when working with a buyer?
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to see.
Okay. What did you happen to decide to sell it yourself versus hiring an agent to sell it?
Oh, we just want all the money that we can get, so. And then, with Homey, I mean, $500, and we kind of feel like we can we can get our bases covered there, so I put it in MLS, so. But yeah,
Fantastic. You know, it sounds like money is really important to you, right?
yeah, for sure, yeah.
Okay. If you knew by listing your home with me financially, and you would make more money, would you list it with me?
Well, what do you charge? You're gonna charge me $500?
I'm sorry, $300?
Is it $500 to list with you too?
No, you know what? I determine my commission on a couple different things. One
Mhm.
is the sales price that we choose to sell your home for, and also to the condition of your home and how hard you want all the buyers to work, all the buyers agents in the city to get your home sold. So we can talk about that when we meet. Are you available to meet sometime soon?
Let me talk to my wife and then give me your number and I'll call you back.
Well, let's do this. You know what? I have tomorrow at 4 o'clock available. And why don't we just set an appointment for 4 o'clock tomorrow? And then I will call tomorrow at noon and confirm it. How's that? You can talk to your wife, make sure we're still on. And then I can show you the techniques that I use to sell homes. How's that sound?
All right, we can do that.
Okay, let's do that. I appreciate it.
Thank
There you go.
Yeah,
It was
you
tough.
You said some things really well there. I liked your last phrase too. Are you familiar with the techniques I use to sell homes? I kind of forgot about that phrase. I mean, I used to hear that phrase all the time. I forgot about that phrase. And then I love when you said how hard, I'll talk two things. We're going to discuss the sales price and how hard you want the buyer's agents in the area to work to sell your property.
Yeah, it's actually three things. I never tell them what I charge for commission. I always tell them it's based on three things. It's based on three things. Is one is the sales price we choose to sell your home for. Two is the condition of your home and how hard we want all the buyers agents in the city to get your home sold.
Yeah, I always bring up the whole buyer agent thing, but I love how you worded that. I think everybody should write that down. That is awesome. So, as you're doing this, like Kyle said, he's got a lot of questions that over the years, he has found questions that work for him. So, whenever I get on the phone, I'm calling people, I've got certain areas, these questions are a guide, right? You're asking questions on motivation. You're asking questions about their marketing, about their results of their marketing. You're asking, you could ask about, with for sale by owners, one important feature is kind of like that key box, the safety issues around showing the property. There's all kinds of things that the pricing of the property, which is already a question. But just knowing, if you ask questions and then go to set the appointment and you don't get the appointment, knowing kind of those pattern interruptions to go back, right? Especially if you've got a motivated seller. Now, if they're not motivated, you don't want to spend a lot of time with someone. But if you've got a motivated person and you're just not quite there, you're just not quite getting the appointment, and you're just trying to build some more rapport, if someone doesn't have a time frame, for instance, like John didn't have a time frame, maybe a question if we were to get your home sold in the next 30 to 60 days because you've got more buyers agents that are out there showing motivated buyers, if we could get your home sold in 30 to 60 days, are you interested in looking at the techniques I use to sell homes? To get kind of that time frame out of them. Are they in a rush, even though they can't tell me their time frame, right? So just coming up, as you're on role play, write down those great questions that you hear, because they will be so helpful as you move through this process, right?
Sometimes they'll tell you that they're not in a hurry. But
And they're lying.
But they are, just to
Yeah.
get you off the phone, so they don't trust your ever report.
They do not tell you the truth always, right? Yeah. Yes. Great job, Kyle. So, we went a little bit overtime, but just remember with for sale by owners, these role plays are not just for sale by owners. It's to build value with, when you go to listing appointments with your neighbors, with your friends, I mean, we were once calling for sell by owners live with the class that I was doing. And I still remember the guy at the very beginning saying, you know, no, I'm gonna list with my friend. And as I kept asking the questions, you know, we set the appointment. And then at the end, after we asked all the questions, he was like, I still remember his comment of, well, my friend didn't ask me all these questions. You know what I mean? Because they all of a sudden they're thinking, well, maybe my friend isn't as professional, or maybe this person can get me more money than my friend can, right? So we've got to be on our game, even though they're our friend, our neighbor, whatever. So we've got to build that value. It's not just rapport. We've got to build that value with our friends and our neighbors, right?
Hey, Katie.
Yes.
Hey, I'm just walking into a dentist appointment, but I'm curious to know the answer to Julie's question about getting phone numbers. So if you could text that to me, I'd appreciate it.
Okay, well, Erin is working on it. So anybody that needs phone numbers, contact me. Email me or contact me if you're looking for phone numbers. We're making it so that you do have to pay a small referral fee to get them, but we're gonna make them so that they're accessible for especially people that get on the role play. So get a hold of me if you don't have access. All right, and then Ryan Kramer, make sure everybody listens to his interviews as it comes out, and just, you know, have a plan and put your prospecting on your schedule. That's the tip for today, right?
What would you suggest for putting that on your schedule, like an hour a day, like?
It
what?
depends on your goals, right? So if your
But-
goals are higher, then you've got to do more. It depends on your numbers. So we
But
get,
do we know like a number or ratio of, like, everybody says that, but what does that mean? Like, do you
In a
have,
general,
in a general,
2
like,
hours.
I would say to always put on 2 hours a day.
Okay.
But then again, if you want to sell, if you're only selling 1 home a month right now and you want to go to 4 homes a month, then you may have to do 3 hours a day, right? It depends on like how skilled you are, what your numbers look like, you know what I mean? And then it's just a lot.
do you know, like, so say you are doing 2 hours a day, every single day, how many appointments should you be setting doing that? I know it varies on how good you are, but I just would like to know, like, doing differently if you're not hitting those numbers.
No, and you guys are welcome to stay on and listen, or you can jump off or whatever. And then if you guys, as we work, this is exactly the type of thing we're doing in our business planning. So we're setting our goals. There's 8 questions that I have out there on our group coaching call that kind of go through, like, what are the things that you want this next year? Because I like everybody to kind of know what that number means to them. Why do they want to make the money they want to make? And then we back that up with how many deals does that take? And then, you know, what does that look like as far as, you know, transactions? And then how many appointments is that?
Yeah.
You know, as far as like, what are you normally doing? How many listings compared to buyers are you normally doing? Or what are you trying to do? And we're not going to be drastic. If you're doing 80% buyers, we're not going to try to switch you to 90% listings in 1 year. We're going to gradually, you know, move you in that direction if that's what you're trying to do. But then we're trying to figure out how many listing appointments that is, and then how many listing appointments you need. I'm always focused on listing appointments, because no matter what, we're trying to take, right, those listings, because the buyers are going to automatically come from those listings. So we're saying, this is how many listings you're going to need to take. So how many listing appointments do you need to set each month, right, in order to get that many listings for the year, and then make sure that we're going to have enough buyers coming in depending on how many buyers you're trying to close, right? So, and in most cases, you're trying to control your buyer, because if you're taking even 1 listing a month, you guys, you're getting, I mean, now it's not so much of a problem because our buyers are way slowed down. But I mean, if you think about it, if you take 1 listing a month and your seller is a buyer, that's 2 deals a month. That's 24 transactions a year. So unless you're trying to do more than that, you're just focusing, what do I have to do to take one listing every month? And see, what happens is you take the one listing and then you start getting more buyers calling. And even though they're not good buyers, you start working with 2, 3, whatever buyers, even though they're not even good buyers. They may even be buyers that don't buy for a year, but you still work with them just to have something to do. And so that stops your prospecting, because as long as I have something to do, I don't have to prospect. Right?
Yeah.
So it's just this whole cycle.
Like a fire station. Levy your time.
Yes. It's this whole cycle of being able to qualify your buyers is probably the biggest challenge for agents, is being able to qualify your buyers and not waste time on your buyers. Doug Terry, I don't need to bring up Doug because it took him so many years, because he loves buyers. It took him so many years to realize that he could only work with one buyer at a time. That was the year that he jumped to like 1.2 million. Like he went from 700 to 1.2 million. He never worked with more than one buyer, ever. And every time I saw him, I was like, how many buyers? He'd be like 0 or 1. I'd be like, okay, no more than 1. No more than 1. So, does that make sense, Stockton? I don't even know if Stockton's still on.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just muted.
So, yeah, it's just about learning. And I'll tell you one thing that I'm sure John's heard this before, but the best way I have found to qualify buyers is when you first get a buyer, put them on the listing alert, or however you do that, set them up to like get those lists of homes that they're looking for. And then the first time they get those lists, send out a text to them and say, hey, I just saw that, 3 homes popped up. Go look at such and such address and tell me what you think. Just give them 1 or 2 homes, right? And if it takes them more than 48 hours to go drive by, you guys, they're not buying. Unless they have a child in the hospital, they're not actively looking for a property. Because if you know that it's when you've had to buy a property and you've needed to buy in the next 30 days, you're driving around trying to find something like now, right? So if they're not calling your lender, if they're not driving by in 48 hours, they're not a motivated buyer. They're wasting your time. So that's how you qualify them. You're wasting your time.
When deciding FSBOs, is it best to call like ones that have just been listed or ones that have been on for a little while? Like, is there any strategy to that, or it's just you just start calling?
You'll find people that just sell out a contract. You'll find people that will list with you the minute they put on there because they're looking for an agent. So you get all types. You find people that will put their property as a for sale by owners simply just to find agents that are calling to look for the best agent. And they'll set an appointment with you right away. And they'll set an appointment with a lot of them. Now you're up against, that's where you're competing. Yeah.